zetu tuangamize ufisadi. Tuna nia na sababu na uwezo nazo mbinu, tuungane sisi sote tuangamize ufisadi.
Interferes with service delivery, then we don't need to exist. We just disband, isn't it? I think you had the debate in Parliament, I think it was yesterday, about the push and pull between NTSA and the DPP, isn't it? Yeah, and I think some of them were saying that we will disband the one that is causing trouble. So we'll investigate and find out who is the weak link here, isn't it? Yeah, so if you can't offer services as required, then why occupy that what? That office. Yeah. And that's why we are very jealous to safeguard issues of integrity and ethical standards. If someone falls below the expectations, then that person, simply should be replaced with another person who may be ready to do the work. Yeah. Relevant questions include: what are the corruption forms in motor vehicle registration? I had people saying they're in charge of registration. Are there any forms of corruption there? What about in licensing? Can there be corruption in the licensing department or section? What about inspections? As we inspect motor vehicles or incidences, can corruption be found in that regime? What about certification? Can there be corruption there? What about when we are doing what is called policy development and offering advice to the government? Can there be corruption there? And what about in the implementation of safety strategies? Usually in government, there's what people call wet areas and dry areas, like NTSA, which is the wettest area that when you are there, you'll build a good house, you'll buy a good car, maybe add a woman or a wife or a husband if possible. You can achieve all that you want, which is the wettest area. Definitely it is not in policy development. Okay? You wouldn't want to be redeployed to that department, isn't it? But there are those areas where they're very juicy, isn't it? And when you are there, people will suspect even if you're a good person, isn't it? So, but we said there is what is called irrigation. If you did agriculture, you can grow maize even into through irrigation, isn't it? So, some people are in departments that are less attractive, but they know how to irrigate and come up with some fruits, isn't it? But the issue here is not whether it is wet or dry, but whether any slight corruption can occur there. Corruption is like a fault in an aeroplane. Remember the pilot or captain telling you that this plane is good. There's only a 0.001 defect. So just board and I fly you. Will you board? That 0.001 defect can, bring the plane where? Down, isn't it? Yeah, so we don't want to take chances or overlook any area. Going by the apparent events in our country, the society suffers from various forms of corruption and unethical conduct. Now, have you ever been involved in any of the following? Bribery. Have you ever solicited for a bribe? Have you ever given a bribe? Have you ever received a bribe? Have you ever enabled bribery to take place, acting as a conduit? Have you ever failed to report bribery when you knew it was going on? No one is answering. Okay, I was so fast. Can I come again? Conflict of interest. We've just enacted a law. Actually, I think it's the latest law in Kenya. It's called Conflict of Interest Act, isn't it? Yeah. Have you ever served people with partiality? You tell some people to stay back as you give preference to others. Have you done business with your employer? Have you been partial in decision making? Looking at the tribe? A few minutes before I came, actually when I was already here, I was added to the EACC group for the Luos. I've been in EACC for 15 years, but I've never known that there is a Luo group, isn't it? Because for me, I'm tribeless. I remember in the university, people knew I was Luo when I was in third year. Listen to it. Because I love my brothers, but I don't I don't discriminate, or I don't show, favoritism just because of tribe, isn't it? Yeah, so those are some of the things covered under conflict of interest. I will send you some notes. Even as I've just received an email, a memo, will be trained on conflict of interest next week on Tuesday, on 16th. So once we are trained, if there will be a slide, I'll send to you. So I didn't want to cover it in depth now because it's a new law. I may represent what it talks about. So we'll just understand it from what is in your code of ethics. I've seen it's covered there, but I'll give you a more filtered product. Non-observance of official working hours. That's number 3. Have you ever been late for work without justification or reason? Have you ever been absent without permission? Have you ever engaged in personal work during official working hours? Now, those are very, very fine things which we have to, look into, because they affect service delivery. I know for Onyango, you can't afford to be late, isn't it? Because people will be there queuing, isn't it? Yes. Yeah. Then bullying and rudeness to colleagues. Have you ever been rude to your colleagues or to customers? Have you ever? I had a colleague who yesterday we arrested somebody, and so they came with a lawyer, and so the lawyer said, before we go to the cells, we want to discuss something, and the guy was told, no, cell first. So the report came that we are being harassed or something like that. And so we said, we don't think we can harass customers. So when we found out that there was some problem, we have actually sent the officer next week another for training. Okay? On how to handle what? Customers. That's how we have dealt with it. Because maybe hakujua, isn't it? So tunamtuma training for 1 week. Ajue how to handle what? Customers, isn't it? Yeah? Yes. So you should not be rude. And the first clients are your colleagues, isn't it? So there is need for that cohesiveness at work. You spend a lot of time at the workplace, so it should be the happiest place, even more than our homes. Fraud. Have you ever engaged in fraud? Manipulating documents? Have you ever embezzled funds? Do you have money? I read somewhere that you people create money. Actually, one of your core values is creating what? I saw something like that. You make your own money.
Some internal streams.
Yeah.
In terms of services that we provide.
So you create money.
I'm saying yes, a source of revenue.
Yes. Yeah. Like us, we are really fighting with the executive or parliament that if we recover like 5 billion, we be given part of it, isn't it?
Sustain operations.
Yeah, so that we work hard. Actually, we have an academy called Nyaka. Last year, Parliament gave them a target of 15 million, 13 million. And they achieved 20 million. So when they broke the 20 million, they were given 2 million to go to Mombasa and just relax, isn't it? And they congratulate themselves, isn't it? Yeah, something like that. So I was asking if you have any money to embezzle. It's not good to embezzle funds. Abuse of office. Have you ever abused your office by conferring a benefit to yourself? If you would ask how you bought your car, are you able to provide details of how you applied for a loan or you made savings? Will it be very clear? Deceiving the principal. Principal here is your employer. Have you ever engaged in bid rigging or procurement irregularities? Have you been dishonest in matters of taxation? Have you ever dealt with suspect property? What's a suspect property? Something in your possession which you have reasons to believe that belongs to the government, isn't it? Yeah, like having a GK or having drugs in your shop. Any NTSA thing found in your house, that's a suspect property. Engaging in unplanned projects. Have you ever carried out a project which was not planned for during the planning stage as you start the financial year? Have you unlawfully acquired a public property? Now, the unfortunate effects of corruption to service delivery include financial loss. We lose money, public embarrassment. You bring disrepute to your organization or to your office. Waste of time and resources. Loss of sponsors or donors. Demotivated staff. Poor service delivery. And loss of public confidence. This results when we don't deliver our mandate as is required. Did you imagine that officers who practice corruption in the course of their duties are responsible for the poor economic performance? They are responsible for the increased poverty. Now I'm talking about the law of cause and effect, isn't it? Yeah, for every effect there must have been a what? Cause. So why is there corruption? Why is there poor economy? Where is there increased poverty? Why do we have increased insecurity? Like I saw, there's a lawyer who was killed, murdered. Was he killed or he died? No, like in you, we believe people don't die. They are what? Killed, isn't it? Yeah. So, where did that gun come from? For example, it could have come from an armory, isn't it? But someone sold it out at a fee, isn't it? So we are asking, why is there insecurity? Is it not because of the corruption that we do? Denial and sale of justice in our courts? Disregard for standards and pillars of integrity? Exorbitant prices for goods and services, withdrawal of international aid, diminished local and foreign investments, lack of trust in the country's leadership. Now, whether directly or indirectly, any corruption we engage in will result into some of these things. And you see, these things are those that affect us very directly, isn't it? Very, very directly. How do you explain the cause of corruption? This is true. This must be Kierkegaard. There's someone called Kierkegaard who says corruption is equal to monopoly plus discretion minus accountability and minus transparency. When you have monopoly, as we said, no one can enforce, safety except NTSA. So you are monopolizing. I was talking to a friend of mine. He works for Kenya Power. So you saw we arrested 3 Kenya Power officers last week or this week? Maybe this week or last week. So their photos were there. So I have a friend from home, actually it's my best friend, who works for Kenya Power. And when we meet at home, the guy says, let's contribute, let a Elizabeth, how do you say you can't afford 5,000? So the guy has money, isn't it? Fluid, eh? So I decided to screenshot that image and I sent to him so that it could. I didn't tell him, I didn't talk, but I just sent to him, isn't it? Yeah, I just sent to him. Because for a long time, Kenya Power has been, even now, they are monopolizing the market for providing electricity, isn't it? So when you have that monopoly, and you have the discretion, it's you, your word is law. Your word is what? Law and final. But there's no accountability, there's no transparency. So cliff that says that results into corruption. Those who did maths, we can say C is a function of fx, not equals fx. Is a function of monopoly. And these days we have decided to, or try to do away with monopoly. Right from the constitution. If you look at the old constitution, I believe executive was in top 4, isn't it? In order of chapters. And now executive is chapter what? Almost 11, isn't it? Yeah, to show that things have changed. Things have changed. You don't make decisions alone, but you work through committees and all that.